Welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, we have multiple ways to be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those who need instant gratification. The show's Twitter feed is @SkimPod. SKIMPOD.
Stays Crunchy.
If you want to hear yourself on the show, why not leave us a voicemail at 216-302-8763. That's 216-302-8POD.
Stays Crunchy.
For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again being spelled with a K. We're available via Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and of course at the website stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever you can.
Stays Crunchy.
And if the pockets is feeling extra chunky, you can put in on this and support our Patreon. It's available at patreon.com/stayscrunchyandmilk. And if you donate at the $5 or higher level, you get an entire extra show each month with even more content coming soon.
Stays Crunchy.
Our personal Twitters are Tatum216, Lunchbox2099, The Real ODP, and I'm your host, the Internet's Tayrail713. Or the freezer.
Yeah, one or the other. I was reading a Wikipedia profile for a WNBA player, and in the profile, it was talking about how in the offseason, most WNBA players go and play overseas because they don't have like a steady source of income for the most part. Mm-hmm. So they go over there to like basically earn another paycheck. But this particular player doesn't do it. Ella something Dawn or she had like 3 names.
Yeah.
It says she spends her off seasons with her family because she has a sister who's blind and deaf and like autistic or something like that.
Damn, Helen Keller.
Yeah, that's one thing. Is like if you can't hear and you can't see, you don't know what the fuck that you're like alive or anything. Like there ain't nothing but just like it's like when the TV station goes out and it's just blank. You're alive, but are you alive?
But no, there's touching. You can touch. You can communicate through touch.
You can touch, you can taste with too. She can smell real good. Some old, I don't know how she lets people know she can smell real good, but she can.
That's the thing, like, but it makes me realize how much we take like for granted, I guess, in a way. And I'm not trying to be all like life lessons are here, but I'm just like, man, what would my life be like,
message
if like I had never seen anything or been able to commute, like if I couldn't be talking right now, and just be like, and that's just because that's just like my body taking over and making noises. Like, what if, like, I never knew what my family looked like or what a family was or anything like that? Like,
what's a family?
Yeah. Who keeps shoving these tasty morsels into my mouth?
Or these bad morsels.
These terrible things that they taste awful. I keep trying to say no.
I don't want to eat any more peas.
You could smack the food out of their hands. But if they think you're I mean, but like they think you're blind and you're
how you gonna smack it out their hands and you can't see?
Well, you keep missing their hand. And,
like, shoot, fly, don't bother me.
I don't know. I mean, Daredevil kind of fucked me up because, like, I'm on the street one day and I see this blind man and I thought about helping him. I'm like, nah, he's fine. Because, like, he's probably, like, can smell his way and, like, he's probably like, look, man, I can hear several heartbeats. They sound like Robert's heartbeats. Don't go down that. I should have asked him for directions. I'm like, no, wait a minute. That's not how it works.
Or he gonna be like Ray Charles and grab your wrist and try to sleep with you. Leave my water alone.
My buddy, I went and saw the Joker movie yesterday, and we're in the lobby before the movie started. And
there was a blind man in the lobby?
No, the owner of the Arizona Cardinals passed away the other day, and he was talking about how he's in this Facebook group with a bunch of like football fans, and how one guy made a joke that saying that the guy passed away because he was the owner of the Arizona Cardinals, implying that they suck balls. And like then a lot of people were like, too soon, you can't be making jokes like that, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, who gets to define what too soon is? I'm like, I was like, take my grandmother for instance. I'm like, my dad just told me like 2 days ago that my grandmother's probably gonna have to have her foot amputated, and like I'm like, you hear that, and you think it's real sad, but I'm like, well, maybe she'll live a couple more years because she won't have to carry this dead weight around. And then he's like, oh, you can't be saying that. I'm like, why? It's my family. I'm allowed to determine what we can talk about and what we can't. Like, people can't tell me that, like, I'm not allowed to say that. I'm talking about my own family.
I think you I think in that situation, you are the arbiter of too soon or not soon enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did your dad chuckle at it, or he was just like,
I didn't
oh.
say that to my dad.
And for
I
the-
just say that to my buddy.
Oh.
All right, and that Arizona Cardinals joke, like if you make it a month from now, that's not gonna be funny anymore. It's not timely.
So and that's the thing I
You
appreciate
gotta be first in there.
about Anthony Jeselnik is that like a tragedy could have happened 10 minutes ago, and he would go like he did the Boston Marathon thing, like when the bombing happened. He went on Twitter and he wrote something to the effect of "Some lines just aren't meant to be crossed."
Yeah. See,
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh no,
That's not sloppy writer.
I mean, there's been a lot of debate lately about offensive and non-offensive comedy. I thought about getting into it. I'm like, nah, fuck it. I don't want to.
How about this? Welcome to it, Stays Crunchy and Milk episode 322. Is that the right number? I don't know.
I don't know.
I gotta tell you, I thought the last episode we did was 320. Then I went home and counted the numbers. Guess what? It wasn't. That shit was wrong. So technically, I think we recorded 321 this week, and I think this is 322.
We do so many of these.
But
and
is it?
I'll be honest, I kind of blank out for 30 seconds when you're doing this every time, and I just, because it's like mentally preparing myself, so I feel bad that I can't help assist you in what number we're actually on.
So-
I think we should just stop numbering them and just name them.
Trust me, the fun part about it is if
Well,
I'm
we hit
wrong,
milestones.
I go to Genius, right? And I type in the number that I need to find. It's usually just like, a 2 or something like that there. I find a version of it almost every time I have the song that has that number in it. And I go get that shit and hack it out of a song. So you'll hear Kendrick Lamar say, Thor! And it's just always fun to me. So it's like a good time for me every time.
There you
Worry
go.
not about it. It's breezy. It's easy. At this point,
Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
It's like we'd have to we stop at like 350, or we stop numbering at 350. Like going forward, no more. But it's just stop at like 322. Just
But then when we get to 500, we're like, what number we on?
that shit seem obscure. Yeah,
How are we supposed to have a 500 special or something like that?
So
We're not the Simpsons.
we'll work it out. So this before we since we ain't trying to get all too sincere. This is a rare treat as of late. We tested some Oreos because the Oreo game it came through.
I forgot that quick we did that.
And and as you know, patrons or people who support the show financially, Oreo ones, everybody gets a piece of. Everything else we review is only for the patrons. You want to know what we review and how it went down? Probably go ahead and put in on this. We got a lot of shit going on over the Patreon right now, man.
Last
we just
episode we
ordered
tried
a
non-lubricated condoms.
The flavor joints. Don't try the banana.
Don't come to me on expertise on condoms.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I wasn't trying to make a joke about you.
It's like Gabe were like, yeah, I bought them once in high school. I didn't use them. I probably should have had them.
Just imagine. I wouldn't want to. But like, imagine like if you had, for every time you had sex, you had a kid.
Short-term gains for long-term losses.
Well, not to get too personal, but there was she was pregnant for a lot of our marriage, so I couldn't have got her pregnant every time we had sex.
Okay, fair enough.
So we tried Oreos. Yeah, we're life. You know what I'm saying? Oreo came through with another mystery flavor this go round.
Can I say something to make everyone uncomfortable?
Sure, go ahead.
Why not?
You know what? For everybody out there who
Fuck it, I'm here.
hasn't tried it yet, have sex with a pregnant woman at least once.
Oh, having sex with a pregnant woman is phenomenal.
Yes. I didn't. All right, so now that he's put it out on the table,
I'm
yes,
I'm just be real with you. Pregnant pussy, kind of one of the greatest things that my dick ever had.
Not only that, I'm sorry, but nothing's. Oh my god, It's like the areolas get dark and super sexy. Of course, the breasts are bigger. The body is soft and warm. Oh my! Having sex with a pregnant woman is the best.
I'm not saying you have to.
Oh, that's why you didn't have 4 kids. It's just your shit.
You got a pregnant fetish.
You got a kid.
Is that what I looked like when I found out that Shredder was Uncle Phil?
maybe a little bit.
Does that look like a moment of self-discovery?
Man,
being with a pregnant woman is very nice, especially when it's not your kid. If you don't bunch.
Oh,
Hey,
And
let's not kink shame. If you're having sex with a woman who's pregnant, then it happens to not be your kid.
That was great.
I hope you came to some kind of arrangement or... Okay, let me stop. That's not what I meant to say. Let me say that I hope it's okay with the father of the child that's in that womb.
Word, so these is mystery Oreos, right? And unlike last year, which was a fruity situation, these motherfuckers got some kind of...
Has it been a year already?
Maybe.
I
think it has been. Yeah, shit, man. These time flies in this day and age.
When you're talking about pregnancy sex.
But these motherfuckers right here, we figured them out as we sniffed them out.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking like I told you guys on the Patreon episode. I told a chick on Bumble the other night we do this show, and then they always ask me, "Oh, what's it about?" And I say, "Oh, it's about whatever we want to talk about." Like, and then like imagine like I'm actually like into somebody, and I tell them about the show. And this is the first thing they fucking hear is us talking about pregnancy sex.
It's great.
I hope they would appreciate it. What level we on? We there talking to my man on these various applications.
Keep in mind, I don't care.
He's a good dude. You respect him.
Yeah.
Maybe one day y'all could have some pregnant sex. Just saying.
You good.
What do you guys talk about? Oh, pregnancy sex?
Well, the last episode we talked about pregnancy sex a lot.
And then we reviewed some Oreos.
Review some cookies.
And we talked about areolas, with the benefits of them. I mean, I know why areolas come about, and you get the dark color on them. Matter of fact, I was watching something, and they were talking. It was like a couple different women. I forget. It was something I passed on Instagram, and the one lady was like, "Well, throughout the year, my areolas turn different colors, like
like my beard."
Yes, but areola, man, I miss you having a longer beard, man. What are you gonna keep on being clean? Like kind of John B in it, or are you gonna let it come down a little bit?
I said John B. Holy shit, I thought John B in forever.
I haven't shaved in almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah, but like I was looking like at some pictures of yours because it was your birthday not too long ago, and like you have more of a robust beard.
Yeah, I think. Well, part of that was because I was trying to hide a double chin.
Okay.
Which like I still have a double chin, but it's more like 1.5 now.
Okay.
So like I was just trying to give my neck some sunlight.
So like, do you think you?
But winter's coming, so who knows?
Okay. All right. So we had some cookies.
We discovered the mystery, people, and I'm gonna tell you what the mystery is. But I want you to know my man Box already submitted this shit. These motherfuckers is clearly churros.
But if you're the winner, you should split some of that money with us.
But we only came to this after some real we've really put in the effort to smell these motherfuckers and discuss what we are smelling, like what notes you picking up on, how's it taste with this, sans the cookie, just the cream, and so forth and so on. We science these motherfuckers down, and
we put our lab coats on. We got the beakers out.
Yo, we should totally take pictures.
We got a puppet of Bunsen.
I'm telling you, we should take pictures in lab coats, hold up a cookie in a magnifying glass or some such. It's gonna be great. We gotta get new pictures taken, people. It's been a hot second, and so
I don't look anything like what's on our Facebook page anymore.
Yeah,
we on Facebook.
Yeah, kind of. Basically, I remember it exists because every Thursday I get like a notification that I clear.
Okay. I'm the odd man out in this. I do feel like it's some kind of graham crackery gingerbready thing, but I do taste some citrus notes in there.
Yeah, and I wouldn't doubt if that is their preservative, which is probably just citric acid. You know what I'm saying? The standard preservative in baked goods at this point.
Yeah, that dark chocolate fucked us up for cleansed our palates for 2 years.
Like, I'll admit, I've never had a churro in my life.
I never had a real one though.
I've never had one at all. Like,
is it any orange? Google see if it's any orange in churro dough, Gabe.
All right.
Like, I could have had one when I went to Orlando last year because they were giving. We were in there with the all you can eat pass or whatever, and they had churro stands. I just didn't get one. I've never really had like carny food, like. Well, I mean, you like the funnel cake and all that.
That turn of phrases made me happy
Carney food. Yeah, like
The food the carnies eat, you know.
Yeah, smell like cabbage.
Small hands, small hands, smell the cabbage.
I always like watch that show on like the cooking channel where that dude's like, yeah, we're gonna try like the episode I watched just the other day was like a plain tortilla shell. Then they took like looked like pretty much a fucking cereal-y cheesecake, cut a slice of it, folded it into the flour tortilla, put some some scoops of like canned apple like apple pie filler, closed that bitch up, grilled it on both sides. Then they put powdered sugar and cinnamon toast crunch on it and some caramel drizzle.
Here's all I've been watching, and I know we gotta get back to the cookies, but
No, we don't. Not really.
yeah, all I've been watching lately is like football and like football related talk like segments on YouTube. I've been watching like workout clips on YouTube just to like get some knowledge in that area, and then I've been watching cooking shows. Like even when I was in Vegas last week, every night when I went back to my hotel room, I passed out watching Food Network.
It's like it's this show I've been watching lately. It's called Junk Brothers, and this shit can only work in Canada because it's a Canadian HGTV show.
Now, when you say Junk Brothers, I initially think of like the two dudes that used to go to people's farmhouses and like rip them off for their valuables. They ride around the van or whatever, and like they did like find some like shack in the middle of nowhere and be like, "Oh, how much for this like oil sign? I'll give you $10." And then they'll like at the end of the show be like, "I sold their sign for $500." What the fuck was the name of that show?
American Pickers.
Yeah, Pickers. Yeah. So, all right. When you say the name of the show, I immediately thought of Pickers.
Yeah, it's almost like that. So, when people throw the stuff out on the street, they pick it up, they remodel it, and then they bring it back to the house.
Oh, like to the person who threw it out? And like, this is what you could have done, but you were a punk-ass bitch?
Sort of. And only like Canadians will be like, first of all, if I threw something out of my house, I probably didn't want it anymore. Probably didn't have room for it anymore.
Could you imagine if it was like a murder weapon and then they brought it back to the scene of the crime?
Like you pushed like a shelf on your grandma to get the inheritance.
Yeah.
Like you brought back this shit. Well, I guess that would be kind of perfect because they had to clean it and sand it down to get rid of the blood and fingerprints off of it. But
then like the grandma spirit like inhabited it, and now she's back. You murdered me.
I'm a cretenza. Yeah, probably so. But that shit is just super Canadian because like some of that stuff, like you spending like an extra $100 on it to fix it. Like it was like it was an old bed frame, and they made it into a fireplace. Like you gotta buy they bought the insert, the lights and shit to go in there. You spent like an extra $300 on this shit, and like these people probably legitly don't have room for it. It's gonna probably throw it away again. But
I think the premise of the show is pretty interesting.
it's great. I think they should redo it in American.
I think though that like I preferred if they didn't bring it back to the person and just sold it at the end of the show.
Yeah, that's another show.
Like you said, it seems like you're bogging down the person.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's why I didn't go and get the dryer here fixed. I just bought a new one because it's like by the time I would have bought the parts and like either paid a handyman to fix it, which I probably would have ended up doing because I don't know shit about putting dryers back together. I'm admittedly not like a tech savvy handyman. I probably could have like taken it apart, and what I would have done is taken a bunch of pictures at each step. That way, when I was putting it back together, I had like reference material.
Yeah,
but it was so much fucking easier just to go on Best Buy and get a cheap ass dryer and have them put it in the room.
Yeah,
I hooked it up like a man. I plugged that fucking like vent tube in the back, and then I hooked it up to the power outlet.
Yeah, like I was talking to my mother the other day, and their Samsung washing machine went out. She was like, not only do they not make parts for this machine that's not even 10 years old yet, like the shit that broke about it was unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah. It's so much simpler just to buy a new one and then ditch the old one.
Not only not to buy a new one, but by long as it's large capacity, just have a start button and a knob to twist. Like the rest of the stuff.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
It's a knob with like 3 different like areas on it. It's like a time dry, a delicate.
It's kind of hot, not so hot.
Yeah, and then
Or
then a
delicate.
start button. It doesn't have a light in the inside, like none of that shit. And that way, when in 3 years when that one breaks, I'll ditch that one out and I'll just bring another one in. Because like, if you go and spend the time to fix that, something else is probably gonna break on us soon anyway. Because you got 3 years worth of use on it.
Yeah.
So it's like I'd like rather just, hey junk man, come get this dryer. You can go fix it and deal with it. I'm just gonna get a new one.
Yeah. So then we also tried the maple cream Oreos.
Oh yeah,
today.
cookies.
But we compared them to OG maple leaf cookies.
Which was a local market district brand from our local Giant Eagle. These cookies are close to my heart. Other than windmill cookies, which that could be a windmill cookie. I just thought about that. Which is a gingerbread almond cookie. But the maple leaves.
Just so you know, you can take those with you when you leave. They can be close to your heart and your proximity.
Okay. I'm sure Emery will bite it and then leave the rest
You
under
can,
the couch.
you can actually have all the cookies if you want.
I do not want all the cookies.
Well, Emmerich might want all the cookies. Have you consulted with him?
Emery, I can call him right now. And he said, let me show you. I'll take some cookies home. The boys will eat them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, after what I learned from the Canada storage that we had is I can't have all the snacks in my house because then I feel obligated to eat them. They need to leave when you guys leave.
Don't feel obligated to eat them. And also, you got a roommate. You got your own little boy.
That's the
upstairs.
problem is he won't. And then I
He
know,
won't?
like, he buys his own shit.
Oh.
And then it's like, I know I'm the only other person here, and I know I'm going to eat them. I'm saving myself from myself. These cookies have to leave the house when you leave. You could drive them down the street, leave them on the curb, and not tell me. I don't care.
I ain't pulling over
But they
when I
got to
leave your
leave.
leave them out there for the coons to get a hold of. A delight. The maple Oreos smell like absolute, I don't know, vomit.
Yeah, I here's what I'll say. They tasted fine, but they did not smell good.
Not in any way, shape, or form.
Do you think the cookie sandwich is like, fuck it, we can only win so much?
I guess the cream had an interesting texture to it, like it almost had a crunch to it, like a sugar, maple sugar situation, probably, possibly. I don't know.
It felt kind of weak. If I'm being honest.
The flavor, or
Yeah, like it felt almost stale.
and yeah, that's they were considered better in milk than they were without. Like that is a cookie that should hang out with milk to be of any value to me. We are rough on Oreos at this point, but it's only because
We care.
because when they make something that they knock it out the park, we really try to celebrate it. These
I know.
these are the one time they literally made you all vomit.
Oh yeah, that strawberry shortcake cookie
Yeah.
was fucking terrible.
Yeah, so it's like I understand
Almost
you
died.
and Oreo's relationship is tepid right now. As for old school maple leaf cookies, tasty, delicious. They do as well in milk as you would like to think they do.
They get mushy in milk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cookie broke down and the cream
It'll-
kind of stayed the same.
Mushy in a bad way. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like a foxy old lady. It's like, you look good. This shit, when you like get real close on her, it's like, oh yeah, you old.
That's how I feel about some of the people at work. Like in your area.
Man.
Not your area, your department.
Oh.
I like from afar, I'm like, ooh, and I get close. I'm like, oh yeah, you old.
I don't think.
What's the state of mind?
The mystery ones is definitely churro flavored. They're fine. A lovely cookie. Let's do a quick.
Do
round.
churros got orange in the batter, Gabe?
No, I could not find that. I found lots of recipes for making orange battered churros.
Okay.
The churro mystery Oreos.
We're assuming churro. We don't know for sure. That was our guess.
They're making an ass out of you.
2.5. I'm being giving on that situation because they are mysterious in their ways.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the last ones were chocolate too, right?
Yes, they were a chocolate cookie with Fruity Pebbles flavored cream in them, which is like, what the fuck is you even doing? Don't
Yeah,
do that.
like-
Especially because, like I said, we had Fruity Crisp Oreos, which was like still to this day my
Probably the
Oreo
best.
pinnacle. I'm saying that like no Oreo has surpassed that. And then he's like, you gonna make this bullshit ass fruity, and I fucking Fruity Pebbles. Y'all know that's like one of my favorite cereals and shit. But you gonna mix it with chocolate, which is terrible, not a terrible idea just to begin with.
It's just like mixing Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles. What's the problem?
Don't do that.
They're in the same family.
They could have did a golden Oreo for this one.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll give them both a 2.5. Like, you know, I'll be generous. I'll give them both. I'll give every cookie a 3 today.
I would give the mystery one like a 3.25. Like, I actually enjoyed it.
Okay.
The maple cream one, kind of disappointing. Like, I had high hopes. I give it like a 2.25.
I know we always say we gotta not go into this with expectation, but it's hard to go into things expectationless because it's like,
I mean, I honestly didn't have like expectations. I just was like, I was expecting them to be better. Not like I was like, these are going to be a 5. I can't wait to eat them.
But
like I
that's
thought
it.
like I would taste more maple.
Even that is an expectation. It's like you hope it is what they say it is.
But I'm being like serious when I say like I didn't really taste that much maple on them.
Yeah.
Like they were kind of, like I said, they're kind of stale.
Yeah. So
And I didn't buy them that long ago, and they weren't open. So that's why I'm giving them like a 2.25 because they weren't terrible, but they were kind of like bland. The Giant Eagle ones, though, I really like those. I give those like a 3.5. Like, I thought those were pretty fucking good. Like, if you didn't leave them in the milk for too long, they were solid.
maple Oreo.
They're the kind of cookies you don't gotta have milk with.
maple
That's
Oreo.
what I would imagine. Like, you could do like a British tea time with.
Pinkies out, people.
Barbecue.
Maple Oreos too. They were a cookie. They were sweet. They smelled really terrible. Like that smell was really off-putting. When I first opened them bitches up, like I said, we do a little sniff test, and I was like, "This is off-putting like a motherfucker."
If you judged like how they taste off how they smelled, that would have been like
like
score
that
would've-
poor blind and
Yeah.
deaf girl who
I
that's
feel
like
like
where she'd eat them cookies.
I feel like the score would have been lower had they actually tasted like kind of like how the initial smell was.
Yeah.
But the fact that like it went the other, like it wasn't as bad as you thought it was gonna be based on the smell. Like that's why I didn't give it too low of a score. Like, but if they tasted like they smelled, it would have been like a 1.
Yeah. Maple Leaf, I enjoyed those. It's a nice, a 3 out of 5 cookie for me. Respect it. Fuck some Maple Leaf cookies. We should get some in Canada. See what the fuck they're doing. I'm just to see if they're doing something different.
Is how much is maple syrup there?
I buy it every time I go up there. I literally just buy some.
That was the thing I found interesting about those Giant Eagle Maple Leaf cookies is it says like the cream actually has like maple syrup in it.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't smell like poop.
So you got some reviews on Sleepyhead?
I'm sorry.
You look how I feel. I haven't gotten like a good night's sleep.
You gotta work tomorrow? You wanna work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let me just start with the old school maple and be different.
How you know you asleep?
I'm gonna give that a 4.5. It's a classic. I like it. It's nostalgia. It's probably would grown up taste it if I never tasted it as a child. I probably would get a lower score. But
Had they really been out like that long?
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
points.
We used to eat them. It's one of those. It's a staple.
I just happened to see him like when I was walking to the register that night. Someone left him like one box just on a random ass shelf, and I was like, "Oh, this must be God's way of telling me that we need these cookies."
Like I remember not seeing them forever, and then like I started seeing them at Trader Joe's, and then after that, like I started seeing them at other places.
You know, I'm honestly kind of shocked at myself for someone who doesn't really believe in God. How much I use like "God damn" and it must have been God's will.
That's
and
bad. Well,
shit like that, like talking like I'm a believer, but like nah.
I kind of feel like saying God don't like ugly is one of the things that holds me to still believe in religion. So I can say that. Like, God don't like ugly, what you doing right now? But, like, I still don't go to church.
So
I feel it's an unnecessary institution.
I don't
Your
know.
relationship with the Lord is between you and the Lord, and you can worship
I kind of
wherever
miss
you
having
are.
wet fried chicken every once in a while. Like, going to the basement and, like, that smell of fried chicken I've been cooking all day.
Speaking of
on
fried
plate.
chicken, I think Anthony and I have determined that the Texas trip is off. And we are now going to Nashville.
We can go to Nashville. Like again, we can make that happen. That's an easy ass
Yeah,
road
we
trip.
were already looking because I drove to Nashville when I went to Dallas.
Yeah.
And so, like, when he asked, we were talking about it, I was like, I think it's like about 7 hours. And I Google Maps it. It was 7 hours and 45 minutes. And that's if you're doing normal speed. So we have probably more like 7.
But we'll need lots of wet wipes.
Yeah, he sent me this video today of these two ladies trying 4 establishments Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah.
And it looked good as fuck.
All right. Next, got a Scam Road Trip Extravaganza for like, what is it, the 320 episode spectacular. Yeah. We'll take this bitch to the motherfucking Nashville all day.
All right.
So
The Oreo maples.
we gotta wrap through this. We got a whole lot of show to do. We all got some tales to tell.
Yeah.
So okay.
All right. Oreo maples. They get a 3. They're disappointing. I thought they'd be better than that. I guess you just can't.
I feel like 3's a pretty good score.
3 out of 5? That's a high ass score.
All right, fine too.
I just want to.
I'm not trying to peer pressure your score. I was a little
Well, they
surprised.
weren't bad. They just weren't as good as a maple leaf cookie could be. It had potential to be better.
Okay.
It's a flavor that can easily turn to a 4 cookie.
I feel like Canada would be disappointed that these cookies would represent their country's leaf.
Especially after we had them delicious ass root beer cookies, man. Canada doing shit on just the regular ass shelf.
Man, I was talking to my buddy at bowling last week about how much I love Canada.
Bro, it really is the shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm just
I was like, man, the food's better. The people... I told him, I'm like, everyone's nice up there except when I go to a checkout.
Man, they really had it in for your ass. All right.
Maybe that's where you meet your wife at.
What about the churro?
Dude, I had that nurse on Bumble. I heard it. She has not unmatched me.
Oh.
the churro Oreo.
She was hot, too.
That's pretty good. I thought
She was like 25.
Oh.
I'm gonna give that a 3.5.
All right. Mystery churro or 3.5 from the ODP.
I'm glad you liked them, too.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought they were tasty.
And
whatever they are.
What do you think about just standard maple leaf cookie? I'm sorry. What'd you say it was?
I said it was a 4.
4.5?
4 cookies.
4.5.
All right, there. We review cookies because we do that for y'all.
I'm glad I can finally get these off my dining room table.
Are we gonna keep doing this? Gotta tell you, probably not.
2020, we'll only. But see, that's the thing, though. We'll say like, it's probably gonna be something intriguing.
Here's the thing about the whole trying the cookies thing. I've enjoyed it for the years that we've been doing it, but I'm kind of getting over it and don't want to do it anymore.
Okay.
I'm just.
I do it because I feel like we made a commitment to doing it, so I have to keep soldiering on.
Yeah.
But my heart has truly not been in the Oreo trying thing for quite some time now.
Yeah, but we haven't been really. It seems like just like how Jordans have been for me, it's like I've had them already before, or it's been the quality is not as good, so I'm not really influenced to buy them anymore. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the Oreos, like. They really ain't been coming out
I know.
with that many.
I'm ready for us to move on to something else.
When I see them, I get super like. When I hear about a new flavor, it's a rush of excitement. Like, oh fuck, we get to try. I get to try. I love trying with y'all. We do this. We have done this now since pretty much early in the game when we tried watermelon Oreos back in the day. The OG. My old heads know.
Ice cream berry burst Oreos.
And so. Oh yeah, we tried them at fucking Ramsey's house at the table sitting there. Wow.
Yeah, man, I moved around a lot in the time that we've been doing this.
Yeah, that'll take you way back. So
I mean, I lived that. So
what, 3 houses?
I lived there. Then I lived on Coutant. Then I lived on Winchester, and now my home. So,
yeah. So I mean, it's like maybe that's like the last Oreo we check out unless they do something special at the end of the year. And I don't believe I have seen anything else scheduled.
I think they're doing the fucking bark ones again.
Yeah, they do that shit every year. Fuck that. We ate
and then it's like this year, instead of being like Santa Claus on the cookie, it's gonna be like a tree or some shit.
Yeah. So maybe that's the last Oreo we do for a good long while unless some old wild ass shit comes.
Yeah, I feel like it had to be like super interesting. And like if they do the mystery thing again next year, I'd be willing to try and play detective.
Yeah.
But like if they just come out with some sort of just like generic ass shit that we've like is close to something we've already had, like how they had the peanut butter and then they do the peanut butter pie.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, the peanut butter pie is my favorite one.
And it was better than the peanut butter.
But I'm just saying, it's like that's not just a slight deviation that I'm like. It's like if it comes out like, oh, we're gonna do peanut butter cup this time, like I'm good.
They did that too.
They did that too, but they had the recent ones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So like I said, they had watermelon ones. They had fruit punch and limeade, which were amazing.
Like if they really want to get me back on board, they need to come out with like ass flavor.
They had root beer, Like, they have done some wild ass shit that turned out to be pretty tasty Oreos. And lately, they ain't been. I feel like they aren't in it no more. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they feel like they have to do it. And so at this point, Oreo feeling like they forced to do it means what I'm saying. They
Yeah, I mean, they were around for so long, all those years with like just chocolate and cream.
Double stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw the mega stuff or whatever the fuck it's called. The
most stuff is coming back next year for 2020.
Back. Yeah. But now it's almost like they were pigeonholed themselves and we got to come out with something new to stay fresh and hip and on social media.
It's like
they doing the poochie.
I feel like if anything, they should just roll with the internet and start making the fake Oreos. Like just putting out Oreos should just be putting out pictures like, oh man, we got fucking like menthol Oreos coming out.
Live with pleasure,
ramen noodle Oreos are coming.
We got that Popeye's chicken
sweet and savory
Popeye's chicken sandwich flavor Oreos.
Yeah,
you ain't ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, what could it hurt the company if they just do fake advertising for themselves?
Man, we never did get those Chinese savory ones. We should have did that. Tried to just to get those motherfucking ones to see what they was doing.
Do you think like maybe Oreo hires like social media people, kind of like Russian bots that go on Twitter, where they just hire people to put the fake Oreo images out on there to get our name out there?
I think the one thing we follow on Instagram, they mock those up themselves.
And now what's the deal is every fucking time one of them fake ass Oreo mock-ups come up that's not made by people we trust who say explicitly this is a mock-up of a thing, whatever. People send to me like, you tried these? I'm like,
this ain't real.
It doesn't exist. And I really wish that you knew that. I guess I have to know it. I guess at this point I've made myself kind of an Oreo expert. We all have crafted ourselves to kind of be. It's like, come the fuck on, bro. Look right there. That's not even a real rapper. Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. No, they're not making fucking mac and cheese fucking Oreos, bro. They're not going to do that. Because they make sweet shit. It's what they fucking do.
Sweet and savory, man.
Yeah, maybe, but they not.
Can we get like a steak and potato Oreo?
Ugh. God.
It's the food of the future, man. It's like in pill form.
Oh my God. Let's hit the ground running. Yo, them cookies have been reviewed. We did that. So let's keep moving. I'm going to throw it to you. Ant, first. Because first up is always a Tatum. Why not? To the G code.
I really don't have much. Let's see what's been going on. So, the other day, my son won Student of the Month. I thought
Does it come with like his own parking spot?
I guess if he rode the school bus, which he doesn't, which he refuses to, rather.
Or he can get like the cubby hole closest to the door.
He doesn't have the cubby hole closest to the door, but every time I drop him off, the cubby clearly says Anthony on it. And it's always some other kid's shit in there. And I'm like...
so your son running like an Airbnb?
Yeah, I was like, I always have to take it out of there. My son is the most nonchalant about everything when it comes to school. He doesn't... I'm guessing he doesn't like it very much. It's probably pretty easy for him at this point, but and like, brag. Yeah. So the night before I found out that he's the Student of the Month, I didn't get in his ass. I didn't yell at him, but I told him, I called him out on this bullshit. I was like, look, every day you have to write your name. That what you wrote right here on your paper, totally not good. And he was like getting ready to cry and everything. I was just like, and I feel terrible in retrospect because he's fucking Student of the Month. But I was like, dude, that don't look like nothing like your name. Write it over. And I made him write it over like 2 or 3 times. He was like, oh, write it again. I was like, write it. Look at this. It doesn't look like your name. And like I got out the paper. He wrote it a couple times. And like, with him, if you stand there and look at him, he won't do it. So I went to go play Tetris in the other room, and I come back, and I was like, you did? He's like, yeah, I wrote it. And then I turned back, and he didn't do it, so I had to tell him again. And then, like, the next day, I seen a guy we worked with for years, and he talked about his son. I talked about mine. I was like, yeah, I really gave it to him. I told him he had to rewrite his name again. and how he has to start taking school seriously. And little do I know, this motherfucker done won Student of the Month. And like at first, I'm like, I'll talk to my girlfriend about it. Like, is it like just a trophy thing? Do everybody get to win? Comes find out, no, everybody does not get to win it. He was actually selected, and he's actually like been knocking school out. He just doesn't talk to us about it. Mm-hmm. So, I guess I I guess I just had to give it to him.
That's I'm proud of.
And on top of that, like he got a little girl who like him in school now. Mm-hmm. And his mother was trying to embarrass him about it. I was like, no, you got to kind of give him some room about it. Do not ask him about it. And then, like, me and Emo was up in the school, and Emery took off his boots and went into his classroom. I don't know what he did that for.
Maybe he's just trying to be polite, not drag mud around.
Man, him and those goddamn boots, I want to throw them away so bad. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably see what those boots look like.
I saw him yesterday.
He's always wearing his boots.
He was in like the rain boots, and your other son was like in the chucks or whatever.
Yeah, that was his school outfit. So there's a little girl who likes him, and like she was hanging around him, but when we were there, she was like giving him some space still. Mm-hmm. And like waiting for us to leave, and it's interesting to see him interact with people who's not his family. But I really guess that's about it. Having kids is a good journey, but it just costs a lot.
It's interesting for me to hear these stories. One, because I don't have kids of my own, mm-hmm. And two, I still remember that day that like we sat down at T's house to record an episode of this very show, mm-hmm. And you were like, "Oh, hey, I will be a dad," and now to think that like we're from that.
It's almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, now like we went from that moment to like, "Oh, my kid won Student of the Month." Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, he but he's the Student of the Month, but he's still like getting his ass whipped by his 2-year-old brother.
I mean, I've seen Emery. That kid's jacked. Like, I wouldn't put it past him to whip my ass. And I feel like I could throw out 40 kids from a Royal Rumble.
I still.
He'd be the Highlander though.
I feel like
I don't know what all this fight on that top rope. Like, you ain't getting me over these top rope stepping. Nah.
Yeah, he's very heavy-handed.
He'd be clutching that bottom rope like, "Bro, dog, you ain't getting me, Uncle Dan."
So what we do is we fast forward 13 years to my son going to homecoming this year, but with a homecoming date this year. And
so, can I ask you before you start the story? Are they? Or you think they're gonna become boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes, we'll get into that as we tell this tale, as we weave this story. So we talked about how my man's helped me come up with the poster for this some weeks back. And success, he got the date that he already kind of technically had, but whatever.
It was just the icing.
I met the mom one day because apparently schools force you to sign documentation saying your student's in good standing and can attend another person's school dance. The mom came and got the doc for me. Cool. They had to then get the doc signed by their people, bring it back. So Vanessa then met the mom and the dad, and she said, "Yeah, they're cool." And the dad was very impressed with our home and was like, "Yo, who fuck with all this Transformer shit?" And Xander's super proud to be like, "Oh, my dad fuck with that Transformer shit." And I'm like, "Dope." That guy has a friend he has a best friend named Dan who lives in Lakewood. I got a best friend named Dan who lives in this city. And it's just like, it's funny how it swings back and forth, how all that shit kind of worked itself out. Gravy. The dad, I guess, is a little like shaky on his daughter dating. It's very new to him. The mom could not give a rat's ass and is super excited for her daughter because my son's a handsome dude, seems to be a respectable young man, and that shit kind of cashed out for me. But the dad comes around, get it all done, gravy, and he's like, "Hey, don't worry, I'll take care of the flowers." And I was like, "Cool, I got everything else." He was saying, I'll make sure pictures good, because they both work on the weekends. They both was working real, and it's like, "I'm so sorry." And the mom was like, "I'm going to try to be there so I can try to help you get ready, but I may not be able to." blah, blah, blah. But, sure shit, it went down. It all went to with the snuff Xander had was fresh dipped out on he rocked a black suit with a black and white polka dot, or a black shirt with white polka dots on it. I had to research what goes with a polka dot shirt. Turns out floral does. Actually, they said any pattern does, but floral was the one they was on, or different polka dots. So he ended up rocking because the young lady wore a purple dress, so he ended up rocking a purple tie with if you saw it, it's like a solid purple, but then like iridescent polka dots. Mm-hmm. All look great. They look fantastic together. We went to pick the girl up. He had told Vanessa he wanted to get her flowers, like not besides the boutonniere and all that stuff. So I was like, all right, let's grab her some flowers. So me and Vanessa and her parents are plotting scheming this shit to a science because we are people who plan. We are planners, and it helps make the thing work. This whole time, Xander's little man with the tattoos and shit is throwing these wrenches. He come through the house the day it's time to go to the dance with an extra motherfucker with him. Like, no, it's supposed to be you and your girl and him and his girl. Why did you bring Squirrely Kid with you? I love Squirrely Kid. It's my man. I love him a lot.
His name is Squirrely Kid?
We call it Squirrely Nate. It's like 7 to 8 Nates. And so we have to, at this point, narrow them down. It's Squirrely Nate. It's Black Nate. It's Taco Bell Nate. It's Band Nate. It's OG Nate. It's a bunch of Nates. There's so many of them. This one is Squirrely Nate.
This reminds me of in that Disney Hercules movie when Bobcat is he's a little demon. He's like, remember a couple years ago when all the boys were named Jason and all the girls were named Brittany?
So
there's a lot of fucking and a lot of Nates that came out in like 1997.
So I'm like, at that point I'm just like, okay, you know what? You two sit here and don't move. I am going to go handle this, and we're going to get it done. Vanessa will take you guys where y'all need to get taken to. Because at the same time, they're waiting on his girl to show up, and then another girl to show up who is not Squirrely Nate's date, but just an extra girl they got that's supposed to come through. Because motherfuckers try to throw chaos, and I'm like, my responsibility at this point. Now, I love these kids. I love my brother, my son's friends. Great. My responsibility is him and his date. That's it. I gotta make sure they shit works and gets down tight. I roll my kid out here to come get his girl. I get a picture of him with the flower. We go get flowers. We go to go get old girl. I take a picture of him at the door because it's the cutest thing in the world to me. Touch my heart. And I'm like, here it is. I got that. Plus, one day he shows the kid, look at me. It's my first, prom date or whatever. I mean, dance date. The day before that was homecoming at the school. Her parents came through to watch Xander perform, which is dope. My son's in the marching band, and they came through and hung out with me and Vanessa and watched Xander perform, and I thought that was pretty dope too. I was like, it's like good people, and I fuck with that. The grandma comes out the house, mama come out the house, her cousin or whatever come out the house. I guess they had done her, helped her do her to get it all together. Her grandma say the same joke as her dad said to Xander, like, remember we gotta dance like this. You know what I'm saying? Pretty far apart. And I'm like, oh, well, I see where he gets it from. And her mom was like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, you ain't too cool with your mother-in-law, are you? Oh. But that made me chuckle.
Hating your mother-in-law just ain't on TV.
The plot was as follows: get the girl, go take pictures, take me to go eat, take me to the dance, breezy. And I promise you, I kept that shit almost to the minute. Mm-hmm. It worked exactly what I said. I said we will be at the picture spot at 5:30. I got there like 5:40 and some change because whatever's going on Jenny's that day, it just that bitch came to a fucking complete and utter stop. Went to the Tremont Cleveland side, took a bunch of pictures there. This was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Promise you, it seems dumb, but whatever. As we pull into the parking lot, I see a whole group of people moving toward that side. I'm like, we got to get there before they do, because I'm thinking it's maybe a wedding party, something like that. But it's not. It's a group of French tourists. Why are French tourists? I don't know. But a large group of French tourists is coming through.
I noticed that there's that like bike bus thing where all the people like hop on and they pedal and the thing moves.
Yeah.
I like a lot of times because I take that way home, like to get to West 14th.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the times when like I'm going through there and that bike bus thing is stopped by the bridge parking lot, and there's tourists going over to the Cleveland sign. Yeah. It happens like all the fucking time.
Well, the woman who's leading this tour is like, hold on, we're gonna let these kids take their pictures first. She stops them cold, moves them out the way, helps me holding the flowers while we swap stuff out. Helps us get the boutonniere to work. She says sometimes they don't cut the hole, so if it's not cut, don't force the hole. I'm like, I didn't even know that. I think I would, but I just didn't. She helps show the young lady how to put the boutonniere on Xander. Helps me hold the plants. Say, you want me to take in the pictures? I go, no, I got it. Some of the other tourists take pictures of them too, just because like they're like, look. Just she explains to them like, yes, these are people. They're going to a dance. I'm saying these are high school students. They're going to a dance. Blah blah blah. It was beautiful. It was a take some village ass moment. The pictures came out amazing. I'm not trying to be on whatever. My phone's so great. I just got to fuck around my camera on my new phone, and that shit took this wide shot where the clouds look like they roiling over the shot. It's such an amazing shot that I'm super proud of. But got the pictures done. I'm done. I'm done with the pictures already. Vanessa shows up with the other kids to come take their pictures. We all get together. We snap pictures together. So the other kids get their pictures done too. I took pictures of Squirrely Nate for his mom because his mom was like, "Oh, I hope you'll take some pictures." And I took a picture of Squirrely Nate. I'm like, "That's a real good picture of Squirrely Nate." So I hope his mom enjoyed that picture.
The Ballad of Squirrely Nate.
I drive just because my focus is Xander and his date. So I drive them to. They decided they're going to eat at George's. That's what they decided. Again, this is my man. His homeboy throwing wrenches the night before. It's like, we ain't going to dinner, and Xander just really kind of had to get loud with her. Like, yes, we are. We discussed this. We said we're going to George's. We're going to George's, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I was going to say it, but okay, you said it, and it was handled. So I got Xander. I'm like, look, bro, you know how George's was. It's nothing to it. I'm gonna give you $50. That way you can cover her or anything that comes up, and make sure you tip well. But I ended up giving him more than that because I ended up getting money so he could tip well. So I got him a 5 and like 4 singles, in addition to the $50. So I'm saying I'm like, this is how you tip. This is how you do it on your calculator if you need to, but this is how you do it in your head if you need to. Make sure you tip well. Those ladies are always awesome there. And I'm telling you right now, you're gonna go in there, they're gonna see you fresh dressed like $1 million. They're gonna be like, oh my God, they're gonna treat you like a fucking king, and I guarantee it. And sure as shit they do. So he comes out and I'm like, hey Xander, what'd you eat? And they both start busting out laughing. And I'm like, oh, this has gotta be good. Grilled cheese. Cause my kid don't eat nothing. He had to grill goddamn cheese.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But the lady hooked him up and gave him kid menu prices. Same grilled cheese. Only cost him $2. I'm like, look, bro, she hooked you up. Did you tip her well? He goes, yes, Dad. I tipped her real. I'm like, come say she put you on. If they put you on, you got to have their back and put them on. You got to hit hard. He goes, we did. We tipped her real well and so forth and so on. And I'm like, good, man. In the meantime, Dylan's mom shows up. Y'all know bringing the other girl to catch up with us after all of this. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then she ended up taking that girl to the dance. Like, they probably could have all rode in the Focus, and like I said, I had it was in my car and shit like that, but whatever. Me and Vanessa just literally sat in the parking lot and played chauffeur. Like, we just sat in the parking lot and hung out while they ate in George's. I'm like, that way, like I said, I ain't got to try to drive back here and come get them out the house. Just be right here. We roll them to the dance. It'll be great. So we there, and just that. Roll them to the dance. I drop him off. I take a picture of him because he grabs her hand. Like, they get out the car, right? And they start walking toward, like, the line. It's like the greatest club you ever want to see in your life kind of line. Like, what the fuck, people? Because they all got to show ID and shit. And you like, yo, mama let you come out the house like that? Yo, dad let you dress like that, son? What the fuck is going on? It's like, high school kids be dressed a little rambunctious. In some cases, flamboyant. And I fuck with the flamboyant.
Did it feel like a 90s, like teen rom-com?
Yes, it legitimately did.
Like the first episode of, what's that show that came back today? I'm going.
Oh, Big Mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Vanessa just told me, literally just texted me that Big Mouth was back for season 3. So, but they get out the car and they start walking and he grabs her hand and I'm like, that's fucking so cute and so precious. So I, of course, take a picture of that with my phone because I thought it was just super sweet. And he's like, they're supposed to go to a party afterwards. And I'm like, but I didn't know what the fuck is on. So I drove there so I could be there by the time the dance ends and just drive him to the party. And he sees me, he's like, oh no, we're just gonna walk. It's in walking distance. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you later. And then I had to go get her and him from the party later. And I'm like, this was not walking distance in any way, shape, or form. Who did this? That monkey Rick stole motherfucker. Told him it was in walking distance. It was not. It's on the other fucking side of Lakewood, down and up. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
how did they? And his girl, like Dylan's girl, had on these crazy high heels, right? Like you had her walking all through Lakewood in them terrible ass. This is awful. I'm like, dang. And they got, we never gonna let Dylan like leave instructions or anything ever again. Because he's the fucking worst.
That's what you realize, man, about your friends. Is you realize who the leaders are and who aren't. Like I know, like the particular set of people I'm talking about. That when it comes down to it, I'm the planner, I'm the executor. You guys just hand me whatever amount of money I tell you to hand me, and we're good.
Yeah.
But if I leave it up to them, it's how you end up missing the one thing that you wanted for your birthday that you'd already prepaid for.
Yeah, man. Don't ever. Yeah, no. Ever, people. But it worked. And so you're saying, I had asked my son, I go, hey, do you think this is going to go anywhere? And he's like, I don't, because her dad's not really keen on her dating right now. Fast forward to, let's go with Wednesday of this week. Vanessa hits me up and says, ooh, girl. I go, oh, what? I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, apparently Xander and her are gonna hang out Saturday. I'm like, oh, word? Fast forward, skip a day ahead. Her dad hits up Vanessa and is like, hey, could you give me a call? Oh shit, they going to her homecoming together now too. Apparently my kid is got a thing going, and I'm like, well, look at you, little motherfucker. You're the man himself, ain't you? He then got a migraine of such severity yesterday that he barfed in school. But what are you gonna do, people? I'm trying. And I'm out here dadding as best I fucking can. But my kid did it, and I of course have I take a large sense of pride in that. But it's also just like, okay, you did that. You did it from stem to stern, and you came up with some plans too, and you picked out your own shirt and shit. Vanessa helped you get the suit, but I did the tie thing. I bought like 5 ties on Amazon because I was like, what if this one don't match? What if this one don't work? Turns out, Squirrely Nate needed a tie. Worked out like a champ.
That's one of the things that I appreciate about my wardrobe is the fact that like I have a tie probably for like every occasion.
Yeah.
Like I have different colors, different patterns. Like, yeah, that's the one thing about my clothes situation that I do enjoy is having those options.
Yeah. So we just when Squirrely Nate came through with just a button down, I was like, go get the other ties and let's see. And one of them worked real well on his hookup. So we slapped Squirrely Nate and got around. Then Xander's trying to tie mind you, I just tied Xander's tie, so Xander can't tie a tie yet. And he trying to do it for Squirrely Nate. I'm like, you gotta come all the way around once and then come around again, but then come up underneath and make a pocket. I explained it to him, and I'm just like,
it's difficult. Like, I know how to do it, and even I like sometimes have to take a couple times to do it. Like I fuck up.
Yeah. So
I hate when you get it, but then it's like not long enough. You gotta undo it
and then reshuffle. Yeah. So I ended up tying Squirrely Nate's tie for him, and the look on his face was of such gratitude, of like, you just gonna tie this tie for me, man, and give me a tie to rock and so forth. Basically, you can keep the tie. If the tie never comes back, I don't miss it. I bought a bunch of ties.
Yeah.
And I tied his tie for him, man. I felt good about that, looking out for my man like that, and it was just. I know I'm just a parent in this situation. It's not really my experience, but my part of this experience was so nice. And the pictures turned out real well, and the experience seemed to be real well. And they hanging out tomorrow, and I'm like, gravy. My kid did okay, and he's a gentleman about it. Opened the door for her like he's supposed to. Did everything, y'all know how I roll, man. I try my best to be a sitcom dad, and I guess I'm trying to raise a sitcom kid. May he not invent a time machine or become.
You created like
Stefan Urkel or anything.
You created like a speech at a funeral type of moment where like Squirrely Nate at some point in the future is gonna be like, I was down on my luck and Mr. Wilson gave me a tie and he tied it for me. That's just the kind of man he was. He was always willing to lend a helping hand.
Stop trying to kill me off, Box. What the fuck, bro?
I said it like sometime in the way future. I didn't say like tomorrow.
But
I'm just saying that's the kind of moments though that people will remember.
You know what? Maybe. And I was pretty happy about that. I know it becomes the parent podcast a lot on here, and I've been trying to be better about that, but that was one of the ones I just wanted y'all to hear. I wanted them to hear, but I also wanted y'all to hear it. And so we keep it moving. I hope I kept it brief enough for you, and I hope you got the whole experience to wash over you. So there you go. We just parented.
Here was my experience with it. I was in a hotel.
Oh yeah.
I was playing a game on my phone in a Starbucks, and all of a sudden my internet cut out, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And the next thing I know, 16 attachments come into my phone. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I open it up. It's like a camera roll, and I'm like, "God damn it! I only needed one picture, not 16."
You have the full experience. I wish I would have took a picture with the lady who helped me out. She was so sweet. And just genuinely, you don't meet people like that a lot, you know?
Well, she works downtown. We could probably meet her again. Tell her thank you.
Yeah, just hang out around the Cleveland sign around like 6 p.m.
Show through Saturday, maybe she'll bring through another group of tourists.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I go down that street like almost every day. And like I constantly have to drive around that fucking like pedal bus thing.
Yeah. Then everybody in mom's like, it's another Cleveland sign I like better than that. I'm like, look, people, I work at what I got.
They each got their own angle. Like the one down by the Foundry is pretty good.
Yeah.
The one like over in Lakewood's pretty good, like at the park.
Yeah.
And then the Tremont one's alright. The Tremont one is probably my least favorite of those three that I know of, just because like it shows more of an industrial Cleveland without like any like vegetation or whatever. It's mostly just building.
It's like that's why I liked when we went to the barber like the week before that, and so we could both get hair because I was like, yo, we should come here to take your homecoming picture, and he's like, yeah, done though, because I feel like that is quintessential Cleveland, because it's not only just the Cleveland sign, but then like Cleveland itself literally sitting back behind you. Yeah. You got a couple of the main bridges. You can see all the skyscrapers that the city.
Well, that's why I like the Founder one, but you get a little more like nature in it.
Yeah, because it's down by the river.
But yeah, like, I think the issue is just like getting to it, because I think you have to park in the Foundry if there's like nothing going on, and then walk on their property and everything.
Oh, okay.
The Tremont one's a little more accessible.
Yeah.
But I think like the pictures I've seen on Instagram of the one from the Foundry I like better.
Yeah. So I fuck with it. It turned out real well, and I super enjoyed it, man. But we bounce over to you.
Oh yeah, and then there's the one at Voinovich Park.
Yeah. And I do like that one because the
that one seems to be the most popular.
Because it has, if you cut it the right way, you can do the stadium on one side, you can do Rock Hall on the other, and the city in the midst. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of that's actually a nice one to take shots at as well, and I think that's dope. But you, for your birthday, not for your birthday, but ended up being your birthday, took this road show to Vegas for second trip to Vegas, right? Third trip to Vegas. You went to Vegas as a kid,
I went
right?
to Vegas when I was like 12, but I didn't leave Vegas.
That's the time you put your dick on the dice.
Clickety clack, clickety clack.
This is like one of those times in my life where like I had to remember to take a step back, and that like it wasn't about me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we're at like dinner, and it's like 4 hours to my birthday, and like I remember sitting down, and they're like, "Oh, whose birthday is it?" And then like my friend, she's like, "Oh, it's mine," and I'm thinking, your birthday's in like a week. Mine's in like 4 hours.
1 hour if I was at home.
Yeah. But I'm like, I gotta be quiet, because we're here to celebrate you. This ain't about me. But that's just like my inner like, what about me? It's mine. But I'm like, yeah, I'm 34 now. I can't be doing that.
I mean, you could have went with both ours. It's both ours. It's really both ours.
Nah, because that like,
it was her 30th, right?
Yeah,
So that's why. Yeah.
Saying that like feels selfish.
Yeah.
Like there's just some things now like where I feel like I can't be doing shit like that. Like even like today, like I saw an ad for like DoorDash, and like you get like a Big Mac for a penny if you order it on DoorDash. They had delivered to you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh man, that's a really good deal. And I don't like feel like cooking today because I don't have like the. I was gonna do my cooking on Sunday because I don't have the meat thawed and everything. And I was like, but man, that's kind of fucking lazy to have someone bring me McDonald's.
The episode that just went up as we record this yesterday was about you having a $10 a month auto from DoorDash.
That was what made me think about it.
Have you turned that off?
No. But I did use DoorDash on Sunday.
That was the plan. You said that. So
yeah, when I came home from like Vegas, I had like no real food here because I didn't really go grocery shopping because I knew I wasn't going to be home.
Yeah.
And we're 5 days since I got home. I'm still fucking exhausted. And I end up going to work in the morning. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to continue to go on like this. But I got home and I was fucking tired. I'll just get into the story. So I had bowling last Tuesday, and I'd kind of pre-packed most of my shit on that Sunday because my flight was Wednesday morning. But there's just certain things that like I couldn't pack until that night because it's like I still needed my comb and like my phone charger and shit like that for those couple days that I was still had to go to work and shit. So I got off of bowling and got home probably about 10:15 that night because I stopped and got some food because like I said I didn't do any pre-cooking last week. Because I'm like, I'm only going to be here for 2 days, and then I'm going to be out of here. And I'm like, there's no point in me making a bunch of food if I'm not going to be here. Yeah. So I stopped and got some food, came home, ate. And then I'm like, okay, I got to be up at like 4 a.m. because my flight's at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to shower tonight, and then I'm going to sleep in basketball shorts, and then I'll throw flip-flops on and a shirt and a hat, have bedhead or whatever, and I'll hop on the plane. Because, I don't like going through security anyway and, like, oh, take your belt off and your shoes off. I'm like, if I wear basketball shorts or flip-flops, I don't have to take a belt off because I'm not wearing one, and then the flip-flops just slide on and off.
Yeah, I need to institute that because I don't really own any sweatpants or, really lounge wear. So, next time I travel, I need to get that in order. So I have to take off a belt.
Yeah, and then, it makes it more comfortable on the plane, too, because I don't feel as confined.
But what if I get a random what do you
cavity search?
No, not a cavity search.
That's between you and God.
I'm talking about you get a turbulence boner. Then what am I gonna do?
Is that a thing?
Wrote that yourself, didn't you?
So anyway, my buddy he started playing this back in February, right?
Yeah.
And I've said on the show that I had committed and then I had mentally decommitted and then I had kind of hinted that I had decommitted and then I recommitted and then I decommitted again and then I spur of the moment found a coupon. I'm like, all right, I'm back in.
Yeah.
So he did not tell his wife about the plan until 8 hours before the flight. Well, no, about 12 hours before the flight. Because I'm at bowling. And one of the other guys, my buddy who's the captain of the bowling team, him and his wife were also going. And we're all we had a Vegas group chat going on Facebook for months. And all of a sudden, I'm about to be up for my turn, and then the next thing I know, it's my buddy's wife has been added to the group chat, and I'm like, the cat's out the bag, scatter. So she's like, oh my god, I'm so excited, typical woman talk. And but here's the thing about it all is I was kind of excited to go and kind of not. Because, these days I have a hard time just, letting loose and, enjoying myself with things because I constantly think about what the things cost and how I should be saving the money because I own a home. And it's what if, my fucking dryer broke a week before this goddamn vacation. So I had to throw a $500, it's delivery, parts. Well, delivery is included, but I had to pay for the, I didn't know that when you buy a dryer, it doesn't come with the fucking power cord.
Is that not the bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, how can you take the power cord off one of the other dryers?
You don't know if it works. You don't know if
the one electric dryer in there is from the 80s.
I'm from the 80s, baby.
So I'm just I'll just, it was $25 for the cord or whatever.
Yeah.
They were supposed to install it, which it would have been, as simple as hooking up the dryer vent and then plugging it in.
Yeah.
But because my other one was gas, they didn't want the liability of unhooking it. So I had to unhook the gas one on myself, which was just fucking turning the pipe off in 2 locations, unscrewing the hose and sliding it away from the wall.
Yeah.
Or whatevs. So anyway, that's the kind of shit that runs through my mind is what happens if something breaks because a week before my trip, something broke.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, man, I spent all this money on a plane and a hotel, and then I get there, I'm going to have to spend money on food and shows and blah, 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 blah. And it's it kind of drains my enthusiasm on the trip itself.
Yes.
So I try my best to not think about that kind of shit and plan as best I can.
Yeah.
Like before I left, I paid my car payment 2 weeks in advance. I paid off the credit cards. Like I paid my utilities. Like I always pay my utilities as soon as I get them. But like I made sure everything that I could pay was paid before I left. That way, in case some shit happened, I didn't have to worry about like spending money that I shouldn't be because I already spent it on shit I should.
Yeah.
So I'm at bowling. I get off. I go grab food. I come home. I eat, and I shower real quick. By the time I get into bed and actually fall asleep, it's damn near midnight.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be up by like 4 at the latest. But thankfully, like I said, I had already pre-packed, and I slept in basically what I was wearing to the airport. So I woke up at like 3:58, and I looked at the clock, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get up. And my buddy had generously offered to come over and drive me to the airport. And not the one that lives here, but the other one. So I had talked to him about coming here and like me leaving for the airport. Like, here's the thing. I was thinking about leaving at like 4:30 because I'm like, I'm already packed. I've already like bought my bags and everything. I just got to check in and get to the gate. But everyone's like, oh, well, you should get there super early because you got to get through security and everything. I got to the airport at 4:15, and I was already at my fucking gate at 4:35. So
Wow.
I got there an hour, like, in, like, 35 minutes before the plane took off. I sat in the terminal for, like, over an hour. Thankfully, my buddy and his wife were on the same flight, so they showed up, and I had somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have been sitting in the terminal by myself, fucking tired and angry that I was there so early.
That's how I went for me when I flew to Boston. I was neither tired or angry. I was tired, but I was not angry because Cinnabon opens at I think 4:30. Slid over there, got me a Cinnabon. Sat Navy a Cinnabon. It was glorious. Being by myself was nice that go around, bro. It was very relaxing. I was just like, yeah.
Well, I bought like a bottle of water, and then I took like I went and took a mini poop before I got on the flight. That was the thing. Like, I must have eaten like a salad that night before. Like, we must have went to Susie's or something. And I got like a chef salad because I had some like lettucey poops that whole day.
Oh man.
So yeah, like I'm talking to them in the terminal, and it's funny because you know how I am in public. Like, I don't give a fuck. So it's like I'm talking to them about like what I was going through and like how we knew about the trip and like people at work and everything. Like, I told them how the one dude at work basically told me that like I should get a hooker in Vegas, and
Dude.
he's foreign, man. Shit gets lost in translation, I guess.
I'm gonna do it for the coach, I guess, baby. I'm just saying.
But it's like I'm like jujuing it all up, you know, like making it funny and everything. And there's like these two ladies that are sitting in between us there for a minute because they sat down. I went to use the bathroom and came back, and like other people had shown up in the meantime. So like we weren't sitting next to each other for a bit. And so these ladies are sitting in the middle of our conversation because I'm talking across the aisle to them, and they're just laughing uncontrollably at like the shit I'm saying. Because I'm just like I'm just gonna like make this funny and just be myself because I don't care. So we get on the flight, and I'm in the first row, and I'm like the first seat of the plane. I'm 1A.
Yeah.
And I sit next to this family, which I noticed, like, I don't know how they were all, like, obviously the one dude was married to the other lady because they were, like, kind of older. But then, like, there was, like, some sort of, like, daughter and then, like, two, I'm guessing, sons or something. Like, I don't, this was some sort of family trip, but I don't know if, like, someone was married to somebody or something. Yeah. I didn't get that impression. But, like, who knows? You know, maybe they weren't a PDA type of couple, but, like, I felt like it was just, like, two brothers and a sister or something. But I sat next to the dad on the flight, and we talked a little bit, like, before takeoff, and he asked me what I did, and then he told me that, like, he's been, like, a asphalt layer or some shit since, like, 1983. I'm like, oh, man, you've been doing that longer than I've been alive. But then in my back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, man, is that your daughter? Because I would totally...
Make some asphalt with her.
Yeah.
It's her asphalt.
But, like... So I slept like probably over half that flight, honestly, like uncomfortably, but I slept. I would say probably about I'd fall asleep for like 10, 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But it would always wake up and my neck would be hurting and shit because I had to like lean forward and like it was tolerable but uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But still, it wasn't that much sleep. So we land in Vegas and the first thing I had to do was piss.
Hold on. I recall you telling me it was a okay. I was like,
yeah.
like what happened?
So I get off the plane and I'm like the first one out of the fucking hall, because the family got off, like a couple of them in front of me, but then like they stopped to wait for the other ones to catch up. Yeah. So I'm the first one that leaves
down the gangplank.
Down the gate, yeah. So I go to the bathroom and I'm in the middle of taking a leak, and all of a sudden it sounds is like woo, woo, woo. There has been an emergency reported in the terminal.
Holy shit!
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I got stream coming out. And I'm thinking like, oh my god, is there like a terrorist running through the terminal now? Thankfully, like when I said, I'm like, well, I got a shit too. So I'm like, let me sit down and spray this lettuce out real quick. And while I'm doing that, I'm texting you guys like, I'm thinking like this might be my last text. They're like, oh, it's all cool. Go back about your normal business. And I'm just like, all right, well, fuck was that? So we end up leaving the airport and we take like an Uber over to their hotel. And my buddy's like, he gambles sometimes at like the casino here, which like makes him like a platinum rewards member or some shit.
That's
like,
more than sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much. Like, it's not like we talk about it.
Yeah.
And plus, he's had a kid, so I'm like, I think he's about to lose it because it only lasts for like a year.
Okay.
And he has a son. He's got his kid just turned 1, so he hasn't been gambling much in the last year. So like, I think he said it's only got it for a little while longer. Like those were his words when he was like, we were at the hotel.
Yeah, I know. Go every day and he's not even platinum.
Yeah. Well, shit happens. I was platinum at one point because he'd actually given me his spare card to use for the parking garage. But that was like 4 years ago when I was still in your department. But anyway,
I still love you.
Yeah. He talks to me. He tries to stop me every time I have to pee.
It's like
I'm walking around. I'm like dancing in front of him, and he's just like wanting to have like a heart to heart. And I'm like, dude, I got up for a reason.
I had to piss.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so we go to their hotel, and like he flexes his like I'm a Diamonds member, so they let him check in early.
Yeah.
And we hung out there. Like they brought their baggage up, and his wife hangs back, and she like goes and gets like a mani-pedi and then takes a nap. And we go over to my hotel, and it's like 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning at this point, their time.
Yeah.
And I go there, and they're like, oh, check-in's not until 4. And I'm like, fuck. Well, can I do anything? Because I'm like, I don't want to leave my bag just, like, I guess, like, I found out when I went to leave that they had, like, a bag check.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm like, I kind of at that point just wanted to be done with the whole process. So the dude's like, well, you can check in early, but I'm going to have to charge you like $35. And I'm just like, fuck it, yeah, whatever. Like, I just want to go put my shit down, like, take a piss, like, get a little unpacked. That way I can go about my day, and then when I come back, I already know where I'm going, I'm all settled, and everything's good. Because I know I'm going to be out all day. Yeah. I know I'm going to be fucking tired. I'm not going to want to deal with this later on tonight when I'm crabby and just want to go to sleep.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Found in Boston. That's the hotel I stayed when I went this last time. I arrived in Boston at 7:30 in the morning, and they let me check in, and I went my ass right to sleep in that bed, free of charge. Props to them.
But I mean, it's like,
no doubt.
Imagine if I went to a higher scale hotel, I probably could have gotten away with it. Yeah. But they had, I imagine, had a nickel and dime me, so... I hate the player, not the game.
Hey man, look, the fact they let you do it at a cost that was pretty free, that's reasonable, right?
The thing that like boggles my mind though is just like I have a reservation with you. You know I'm gonna be here for like 3 nights.
Yeah.
You telling me the room's already ready?
Yeah. Just
let me fucking have it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm already here. Like, what's the difference between me checking in now and 4 hours from now?
I'd actually emailed them because I knew I was coming in early, and I was like, hey, my flight got changed. I'm coming in way early, even though it hadn't changed, and I knew I was coming in early. Is there any way I can check in early? And they were like, as long as the room is ready, there's no problem with that. And I got there, and I was like, hey, I told them I was coming early.
They literally charged me an extra $35 to go put my bag in a room that was already ready.
Waiting on my ass.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But Found Boston is the name of the hotel I stayed in Boston this go around, and they have my back. So respect to them, because your boy was dead tired. It was terrible.
Yeah.
This is one of the worst kind of sleepies I've been in some time. But you gave me 35. Did you get to go like sit down for a little bit or anything, or was y'all like rolling?
So we went and we walked down the road to one of the hotels so he could gamble, and
Who's our casino associated with it in Vegas? Is it Caesars?
I think it's
still?
Caesars.
Okay.
Or at least it was Caesars.
Yeah.
I think it was Caesars, and it's something else now because I think they sold the casino.
Yeah.
So that might also be why he's no longer going to be the
His
Diamond
platinum
member.
yeah.
Because he had it when it was Caesars, and
Yeah.
now that it's not Caesars, he's going to lose it because he's not gambling at Caesars anymore.
At a Caesars location. Okay.
So yeah, maybe he's still gambling even though he has the kid, and it's not going towards that anymore. But anyway, so yeah, we went down the way to, I think it was whatever's next to the Paris.
Like
The Lynx. I think it was the Lynx we went to.
Okay.
And he was gambling, and I was playing games on my phone because that's the other thing. It's like, yeah, I'm in Vegas and people gamble, but like I told you guys, my dryer broke. I spent all this money on this trip. I know I got another trip coming up in a month.
Yeah.
I got 2 weddings I got to go to. I got my car insurance due in a month. My normal bills. I'm like, I didn't work all this overtime so I could piss away $100 on 3 hands of blackjack.
Correct.
That is not happening.
I'm not a gambler to begin with, and I'm just not going to all of a sudden start.
Here's the thing: if I was flush with cash,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't mind the challenge of playing some blackjack and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I am too money conscious right now to just be freewheeling and dealing.
Cheat the sports book or anything? You know what I'm saying?
Now, I gambled like $5 on roulette and like $40 on digital blackjack and $20 in the Ghostbusters slots. So I gambled $65 the whole time I was there.
Yeah.
And that was like spread out over 3 days.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I had my fun. I tried. Never playing video blackjack again. I feel they cheat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same.
Because I'm like, how is it the computer deals itself 6? I'm on 17. And the next thing I know, they have 21. 3
Yeah.
cards later.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And this is happening repeatedly. Like, the odds don't seem to be in my... in
Favor in
like,
your favor?
Yeah. What the fuck? But anyway, I digress. So, the rest of the people like start to show up because like other people had like a little bit of a later flight that day, and then other people who were already in town from the night before finally started to wake up. So we all kind of convened in that hotel, and that was when like was it this show that I talked about the food conversation? Yeah, it was the beginning of this episode. Okay, where so we had the conversation that I talked about earlier, where like we were discussing food and we had a couple drinks at the bar and everything. And then
I think that was on the Patreon episode.
Was it?
Yeah, were you talking about how you met people and started talking about? Yeah, you said we're talking about it on the main show. This is us talking about it on the main show. Patrons know what's up.
Oh.
Well, maybe they will, like, next year when that episode actually goes up. Because time is this fucking mystery at this point with the Patreon shows, bro.
How long have I been asleep?
You're good. You go back. We'll tag you in when you're ready.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Kids are killing
like,
me.
we have like a conversation about like food cooking and everything, and then at this point, they went back to go change, and we went to a dispensary.
Yeah, the world's largest dispensary, right?
Yeah, that's what it's billed as, and it's like what I imagined like a tech store that only sells a couple products, but they buy like the biggest space and try and juju it up. Like they had like a fucking like LED board on the ceiling, and they had like those like floor pads where it's like you walk on the digital floor and it like ripples like water and shit like
Billie
that.
Jean?
Kinda, I guess, yeah. It didn't like light up though. It'd be like you walk on it and like it would make the puddle ripples and shit.
In theory, you're not high when you go there. You have to leave, and I feel like that'd be an experience. Whoa, you know what I'm saying?
So I had never been in a dispensary before. Like I know I had the opportunity in Canada to go in with Vanessa.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. And at this point, I was like, "Fuck it! Like nothing bad's gonna happen for me just going in here." And like, everyone else is going in. Not to be peer pressured, but I'm like, everyone knows I don't care about people smoking weed or eating edibles and shit like that. It's just I get worried about my own situation when it comes to that stuff because like I don't want to lose my job over something that like at the end of the day isn't like important to me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm here, just going in ain't gonna hurt nothing or whatever. So we go in, like, and man, it's a process. Like they have like a security guard, like a cop, like at the door, and then like they run your ID, and then they give you a ticket. You have to like scan in like a fucking subway station, And then you go into a giant room where they've got displays all over the place. Like, I was sending you guys pictures of it. I took more pictures that I didn't actually send you.
They didn't like tackle you when you was taking pictures?
No, I thought they might have like been mad, but no one said anything to me. Like, honestly, I was trying to do it covertly, but like no one said nothing to me.
I tried to take a picture of Vanessa playing, I think, let's say blackjack, and they were like, "Yo, you cannot be taking pictures on the floor out here." And it was in Vegas. She's like, "You can't. These people didn't agree to be photographed. Taking pictures of the gaming is against the law here." I'm like, I just want to take a picture of my girl playing. They're having a good time gambling. Relax, people. Let's dial it down.
I was sitting next to my buddy when he was playing one of the table games because in the afternoon it's not really popping because everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting next to him, but I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
And I pulled my phone out for a minute. I had it like in front of me, like kind of over the table. And he's like, "Oh man, you can't do that. You got to have your phone off the table." I was like, "I'm sorry, shit." Like, didn't realize that my not playing was disturbing you. But I like not him, but like people that lose their shit. I'm not involved. Like I'm literally just checking my text message.
They're overly worried that there's some kind of cheating mechanism taking place there. And I'm like, bro, I'm trying to play Bejeweled over here. Relax.
Yeah. Yeah, I sat at a slot machine playing Summoner's War.
Yeah.
Like I whatever. But anyway, so we left the dispensary and then we ended up going to Old Vegas. So the other people had gotten like dressed to the T's. Like the girls were like the women were in dresses. The dudes that were with them, like the one couple I know are married. Like the one that used to live here that I met like about 8 years ago. Yeah. She's married to her husband. Like they've been together I think like 2 years now. They moved to Texas.
Okay.
The other two that I just met that day, like that the rest of us that just met that day, I don't know if they're married or if they're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Like they've been together for a long time, or I don't know their deal. She had like a little ring thing on, but he had nothing. So, but like they're clearly together.
Yeah.
She was in a dress, kind of like side boobing it up. He was in like a button-up shirt, some nice pants, some shoes. I say this because like it's gonna come back around later in the story, so keep in mind that this is how they look for Old Vegas. So, me and my buddy and his wife, and then the one lady, the married lady, we went walking down the street and we were checking out the street performers and everything. And I actually had wanted to go back to Old Vegas because 2 reasons. One, there was this toy store there that I wanted to go to when I went there 4 years ago, but when we were there it was closed. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to revisit that to see if it was open so I could go inside. And 2, Old Vegas has the restaurant in it that we'd gone to that kind of changed my life and has led to me to where I am right now. So, first I'll start with the toy store. It was open, but they were only open for like another 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I went inside, and it was like Big Fun, but in Vegas.
Okay.
They had vintage toys, and then they also had like newer stuff. It was like a mixture. So yeah, it was Big Fun, but Vegas. And then I wanted to take a look at the restaurant. I didn't want to go in or nothing. It is the Heart Attack Grill.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when we went there, we went to Vegas when I turned 30. We went to that grill, and I'll never forget that night we went there because it was probably the night that broke me. This place has like a scale outside that like if you weigh over 350 pounds, you get to go in and eat for free. And at that time, I knew I clearly weighed over 350, but I didn't want to go on the scale because it's outside, and it's like everyone's looking at you. It's like basically you get put on spectacle for everyone to watch, and you go inside, and it's like they make you put on like a hospital gown.
Oh, if you 350?
No, just anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody goes in has to put on the hospital gown because they fucking webcam you in the restaurant, like onto the internet to their website. And then the food's all like made unhealthily, like that's their gimmick. And, like they just sell pop and like cigarettes and stuff in there, and then like the milkshakes have lard in them and stuff. It's like it's gluttony like personified. And that night, like being there and going through all that was really the night that kind of broke me and made me realize that I needed to get my fucking act together because I didn't want to feel that kind of like depression and sense of just like hopelessness anymore. It took me a little while before I kind of found my way on how to like go forward from that, But that was the night where I was like, I gotta fucking get my shit together because I don't want to end up feeling buried under all this crap.
Yeah.
So I wanted to look at that again just as a reminder of, like, why I've gotten to the point where I'm at now. Like, I know I'm not perfect and I'm still fucking up. Not, like, repeatedly or nothing. But I still make mistakes and I'm still learning and I'm trying to get better and everything. But I wanted to look at that as a reminder of, like, why just 4 years, you know, it's kind of like I put up the picture of my driver's license. It's just like looking back, like, this is what I was, this is what I am now, and like in 4 years, maybe I'll go back and be like, this is what I am now, like 4 years later. So anyway, saw some street performers. I like Old Vegas. Like, it's a turd, but it's like a turd that's like sparkly with diamonds because they put like lights on it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a Chappelle show when he had like, he's got the diamonds in his poop and he's like, oh, it makes my dookie twinkle. Yeah. It's like, here's a shitty casino, but we put some LEDs on it. Bada bing, bada boom, it's hot. But then they also got, like, the crazy street performers, and they got, like, burlesque women DJing up on stage, and, like, they got zip liners going over your head all the time, and artists and shit. Like, it's, like, it's got some character to it. So, like, I kind of enjoy it. But, like, at this point, like, I'm not gambling. Everyone else is just gambling. And I'm, like, fucking exhausted, and I want to go to bed. So, I kind of in my mind are like, all right, you got to find like the perfect time to dip out of here, and just like cab your way back to your hotel and just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my buddy and his wife were like, yeah, we're getting tired. I think we're gonna go, and I'm like, I'm gonna go too. So we cab shared back to their place, and then I went to my place. So I got out of there and went to sleep. And then at this point, though, like everyone else was staying at like the same hotel, and I'm at my own hotel, like 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
So they all get up, like we're in that group chat, and it's like in the morning, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to breakfast here," and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I'm gonna go back to sleep, and we'll meet up sometime today.
I'll see you later.
Yeah. So that day was like. How the fuck did I meet up with them? Oh, so I ended up walking around the strip by myself for a couple hours. Like, I went and ate at Shake Shack, and I went to the Hershey store, and then I walked down the strip because that night we were going to Gordon Ramsay's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And so I met up with them at the Paris Hotel around like 6. And we had reservations for 6:30, so we got in around, I think, about 6:40 because, of course, the other half of the group was late. And so we get seated, and they changed the decor in there and everything, but they brought like the meat cart around, you know, so that was kind of cool again to see all that. It was like reminiscing from 4 years ago. And so I ordered a 28-day dry-aged ribeye. And I ordered the mac and cheese. And then I got the Wagyu beef sliders for an appetizer. And so the sliders are pretty good. I had a cocktail, too. The cocktail was really fucking good. They called it, like, the El Matador. Mm-hmm. And it was a habanero, pineapple-infused, like, tequila drink. It was really fucking good.
Nice.
Like, it was probably the best cocktail I've ever had. And so the steak comes, like the main course, and I cut off like 2 bites, and I'm just like, I don't taste any salt.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is kind of bland.
Yeah.
So like I cut off a piece and gave it to my buddy. I'm like, here, try this, and you tell me what you think. And he eats it, and he goes, yeah, there's nothing on there. So at this point, I'm like, I don't like confrontation when it comes to my food, but I'm like, this steak costs like $75.
I'm gonna confront you.
So I've never, like, ever at a restaurant just been like, I don't like this. Like, if anything, it's like there's a hair or, like, a foreign object of some sorts. That I'll be like, yeah, I can't eat this. But if I don't like it, I usually just keep my mouth shut and just suck it up and eat it and don't say anything. But this time I'm just like, I can't go through with this. This was supposed to be in my mind, even though we weren't technically there celebrating my birthday, like it was her birthday dinner, in my mind, that was my birthday dinner because that's what I wanted to do for my birthday, even though I didn't say that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is supposed to be my birthday steak. I'm not happy with the quality of what I have. I'm like, I have to this time do this. So
It's a big step, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I hemmed and hawed about it, but I ended up doing it. Like the maitre d' guy came around. He's like, "Oh, is everything okay?" And I'm just like, "Sorry, buddy. I hate to be that guy. I'm like, I wish I didn't have to say it. I'm like, but I'm like, I don't taste any salt on here. Like, it's bland. It's no flavor." And he goes, "Oh, do you want me to bring you something different? Like, would you like a rib cap or something?" Like, he was trying to upsell me at that point. Like, I don't. He probably would have charged me the same price.
For sure.
But I'm like, no. He's like, "Oh, we can make you another one." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I would like another one. Like, I want this because that's why I ordered it. I'm like, just put some salt on it and we're good.
Yeah.
So does it like some places have it like listed on the menu like, hey, this is our rub we put on it to give it that crust?
Yeah.
Nah, they just salt and pepper.
Okay.
And then I could tell they cooked it in butter. They also, like, apparently my buddy, the one I gave the piece to try,
Yeah.
they didn't really cook their Brussels sprouts all the way through, so they just sent those back too. So it's like it wasn't just my food that like had a problem.
Yeah, Brussels sprouts is one of those things like I don't love them. I'll eat them, but you gotta cook them well.
Yeah, like if you don't, they're like crunchy and hard to chew, and like
Yeah.
when they're soggy, like and kind of melt in your mouth a little bit, they're fine. But if you gotta work for it, they're not the vegetable where it's good enough where you're like willing to work for it.
Yeah, I like them like right before they get mushy.
Mm-hmm.
Like some bite to them, but not like, oh, I'm eating a little head of cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
But
So, like I think I had when I texted you guys, I had told you that like I had done a couple first that day.
Mhm.
That was the one first I was talking about. Earlier in the day, when I was getting dressed for that excursion, it was the first time in my life I ever used an ironing board. I got the iron out of the closet at the hotel.
yeah.
I heated it up. I pulled the ironing board out and I ironed my shirt.
Oh yeah, I used to iron like once a week.
Yeah. I own an iron. I have one upstairs. I just never use it.
And an ironing board?
I do not have an ironing board, but I do have an iron. Now, I brought up the fact that the people had gotten super dressed up for Old Vegas because, like I said, we went to Gordon Ramsay's Steakhouse, and this was Thursday. So the couple that I had just met the day prior, the woman shows up, and she's dressy, but not like the night before where she was in like full dress with like titties hanging out and shit. But the dude shows up to Gordon Ramsay's Steakhouse in fucking a Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl t-shirt, basketball shorts, and some tennis shoes.
Well, did he get let in?
I wish they
Oh yeah,
I wish they would have sent his ass away. Like,
but
no,
that's
sir.
that's my like we all judged him because I'm like, you went to Old Vegas the night before and you were dressed up like kind of fancy looking,
Yeah.
and you show up to Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse in a fucking t-shirt and basketball shorts. What the fuck is wrong with you? But anyway, so we have the meal and everything, and then my buddy and his wife paid for the whole meal, which was very nice of them. And I made sure to thank them repeatedly because I truly appreciated it. And I tried to pay.
Yeah.
I had the money in my hand. I handed it to them, and they handed it back to me and told me they were paying. Like I had already planned on paying for my meal and everything. I had plotted it out. That was going to be my big thing for the trip, and they ended up paying for it, which I truly appreciated.
What do you call it? He called it that Westbrook money, though, right?
Probably. Yeah. But yeah, that's always my fear, though. Is like, I don't want people to think that like, and I don't think they think that, but like, I don't want people to think that like, I want them to buy, like I expect them to buy me things or anything like that. Like, yeah, I don't use my friends for their money and shit. So, you know, that's always a fear in the back of my mind. Is like when people offer to pay for things like that. Like I don't want them to feel like I'm taking advantage of them because I'm not trying to do that. You know.
Yeah.
So we left there and we went and watched like the water shows at the Bellagio, and those are always an interesting time.
That's funny. It literally just popped in my memory like maybe a day, 2 ago. That when I was at Village was 4 years ago. You know, you. I thought you put. Did you put a video up somewhere?
I put it on my IG story.
Yeah, and like it showed up in like I want to say it showed up in like either my Snap memories or my face memories of me at the Village. I'm like, how funny! It's like it runs that close that we were both in Vegas. Like because like you went to Vegas.
I went there like a week or two after you.
After I did when I went for my 40th birthday. So yeah. So that's a fun little situation. But I like that. I like watching that fountain show. Like everybody and mama kind of gathers around.
It's interesting.
Yeah, man.
And at night, like because of the lights and everything, I like it better at night than I do during the day.
Yeah.
The night just adds this but Vegas is better at night anyway because the hotels have all the lights and everything.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, it just looks like a small city.
Tell you, if you get married, we're gonna take him.
Who, me?
Yeah, just gonna force it upon you. Just make you go on this plane to go to Vegas.
I'd rather do something fun.
I already ordered the chloroform off Amazon. So yeah, we walked down the strip, and then some stuff happened that I'm not gonna get to on the show.
Yeah.
It was a private conversation. The next day was my actual birthday, and they asked me in the group chat what I wanted to do for my birthday. And at that point, like I said, like I'd wanted the steak for my birthday. So at that point, I felt like I'd already gotten what I wanted.
Yeah.
So they asked me if like there was anything I wanted to do specifically for myself, or like anything I wanted where I wanted us to go or whatever. And my one buddy who had paid for dinner, he loves pizza.
Yeah.
And the old man on our bowling team, his son works in Vegas as a chef. So before we left for the trip, he asked him what the best pizza place in Vegas was, and he said Setabella's was the name of the place there. So they had met me at my hotel. Like I showered up and everything and met them down in the lobby, and then we took an Uber to a Setabella's location. I guess there was like 2 of them in Vegas, and it was off like 10, 15 minutes away from the strip in kind of like an industrial area. And they had like a certificate on the wall. Like I guess like in order to make true Neapolitan pizza, you have to go to Italy and train for like a year and get like an actual certification. So this place had the certification on the wall. So somebody there is certified in making the pizza.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing like 2 pizzas for the table. It was like me, him, my buddy who's planning the trip, and then another couple had came the night prior.
Yeah.
So that husband, it was basically at this point it was a guy's excursion in the afternoon, and the ladies were hanging out by the pool, and we got 2 pizzas. I got another cocktail there. I got some sort of like tequila mule kind of thing.
Okay.
It was okay. It wasn't as good as the Matador from the night before. We ended up ordering it was like their namesake pizza, which was like it was like some sort of like white cheese, and it was like a Philly steak essentially. Yeah, it had like onions and then the steak meat and like a white sauce. It was like a Philly steak. Then we had gotten, it was kind of like a Supreme in a way. And I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. Like they had this kind of sneaky heat to them, where it was like a good burn, but not like overpowering. The quality ingredients are really good. Like it was really good pizza. And then after that, we Ubered back, and we went to the MGM.
Nice.
I'm sorry, no. Rewind. We Ubered to the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
And we ended up going to a bar. We tried to go to this bar that has a statue of Stalin with his head cut off.
Okay.
But they weren't opened yet. They opened like later in the afternoon.
Okay.
So we ended up at this bar called Five Below or -5 or something.
I was gonna ask you about the ice bar.
Yeah.
Did you put the coats on and shit and go drink some cold vodka?
We did not put the coats on, but we hung around the bar. That was where I sent you the picture of the game that I was playing with the ball, and I told you guys I was a fucking genius. I was like a drunken master. So yeah, I'd gotten a couple drinks, cocktails there, and I had fucking made my mind up that I was gonna beat this bar game, where it's like 2 sticks and a giant metal ball, and you start the ball at the one end, and you got to move the sticks and get the ball down.
Yes.
I fucking figured out the trick after about 10, 15 minutes, and I was able to do it like 5 times in a row. because I'm a goddamn genius. All right, I wouldn't say I'm a genius, but if you give me some time to figure something out and work my way through it, like I'm pretty good at adapting.
Yeah,
I'll say that. I'm good at like retaining, like figuring it out and adapting. So I figured out the bar game and beat that, and then we were playing ping pong, and my buddy, he was beating everybody, and then like I played him, and then like halfway through our game, I realized he was beating all of us because he was super accurate as long as we were playing slow.
Yeah.
But when I sped up the tempo of the ping pong ball, it became harder for him.
Couldn't ride with it.
So I figured out the trick, and then somebody else used it to like make it a more competitive game with him. Because at that point I was already in a deep hole, but I figured out his Achilles.
Nice.
So, but while I was there, also my grandmother called me to wish me happy birthday, and so I talked to her for a little bit, and it was funny because she called my cousin an alcoholic. Like she's like asking me what I was doing, and I told her I was at a bar in Las Vegas, and she goes, "Oh, you're drinking?" Because I guess her dad was like an alcoholic or something, and so she's not really too keen on alcohol. But I told her, I'm like, I'm only having like a couple. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm not drunk or nothing. Like, I'm solid.
And I'm not driving.
I'm like, at least I'm not Sarah.
Oh.
And she goes, yeah. Sarah, she drinks way too much. She's got a problem. And she's like, we need to like have a talk with her. And I'm like, nah. Like, she's her own woman.
Yeah.
I call her an alcoholic to her face, and she doesn't seem to faze her. So, whatevs. But so we left there and we walked over to the Luxor. And
So it was the pyramid, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And from there, like we passed these shops and stuff, and we passed a shoe store, which we ended up coming back to like the next day, so that my buddy could buy some Jordans from there.
Yeah.
And once we got to the Luxor, we decided to Uber over to the MGM Grand because they had a Topgolf.
Also, one of the best lazy rivers in Vegas, people.
We did see the lazy river. We had to walk through it to get to the Topgolf.
Okay.
So I got to go do a Topgolf for the first time, and I have to say it's really fucking fun. And a couple of the people I was with, they golf, so they gave me some pointers on how to like drive the ball.
Get that.
And that was another
right.
thing. It was like they gave me a couple tips, showed me how to hold it and everything. And the next thing you know, I'm crushing 200-yard drives.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I'm good at adapting when people show me what to do. I'm good at my knowledge retention and application. I'm not one of these type of people who can, like, just, like, look at something and automatically know it. But, like, if you walk me through it, I got it.
Hey, locals, Top Golf here is hiring right now. 500 jobs. Hurry up and get hired so they can open up and I can go play fucking Top Golf.
Yeah, they're talking about opening in December. I have to say,
that
like,
seems dumb in this town, right?
Yeah, because, well, like, I don't know, like, the Vegas one was, like, outdoor. It was, like, a driving range with a net.
Yeah.
So it was, like, outdoorsy, but Vegas is always warm. Cleveland, like, when they open that bitch in December, we could have a 4-foot blizzard. Who knows?
And they'll have those big red lights, but what else are they going to
The one in Virginia, we saw the net from the highway and was like, what the fuck is that? And my sister took us there. I was like, holy shit, this is the place with the giant net. Now I know what it is. It's like a net that's like, I don't know, like several stories high. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing.
Yeah, the one in Vegas was 4 stories.
Yeah.
It was 4 floors. It sounds like the one here in Cleveland's going to be 3 floors.
Nice.
So basically what it was like, for our group, it was like $77 an hour for the group, not per person. And there's like a unit on you get like your own little driving range with a table and a couch and stuff, and you can order drinks. People come around, you can order food and shit. And then they have like the green with the tee, and there's a little box next to it, and you put the golf club over like a red laser, and the ball spits out, and then you put up on the tee and hit it, and then it dispenses as many balls as you want for that hour. Yeah. And I guess the balls have a chip in them, so the hardware reads where the chip goes, and it corresponds to whatever mini game you're playing. Because there's a bunch of different mini games where like there's one that's like kind of like Bejeweled. When you hit the ball out, it changes the color of the blocks like on the screen. And like there's like a special ball that'll blow up a whole row. And basically you're trying to get the points for destroying the columns.
Was there a VW Beetle off in the distance for you to hit toward?
No, but I did hit the golf ball retrieval truck.
Cool.
And then there's like targets out in the field. Like they have like the driving range, but then they have certain areas where like they have colored flags. There's one game where like you're trying to aim for the different flags for points, but then like there's also the game where you get points for like you either if you hit it into those zones you get a certain amount of points for how far those zones are, or you get like 50 points for driving it out as far as you can to the net. So that was the game I liked the best because it allowed me to try and drive. Because I'm not good at like aim chipping yet. Like I haven't done it much. But once I got the hang of driving, I could crush it.
Yeah.
But we were there for probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Because I know we re-upped at least one time. But I think we only had re-upped for a half hour. But I think we might have re-upped twice. But that was another time where my buddy covered the tab, which I was very appreciative of. Like, he's a nice guy. I can't say anything about it. At that point, then we went and we met up with everybody else because we were going to Carrot Top that night, and like
The comedian?
yeah,
Okay.
and we had talked about going to the buffet in MGM, but at that point, like I wasn't really buffet hungry because I'd eaten like 5. Like they forced me to finish the pizza, and then I'd been drinking, so I wasn't really like $40 buffet hungry. So I kind of skipped the buffet.
Yeah.
And that's when I did like the blackjack video gambling. Mm-hmm. Then we met up, went over to the Carrot Top show, and what it was is the tickets were comped because my buddy knows like one of the managers through a trade show or something, so he traded him kitchen appliances for Carrot Top tickets. But they broke it up into like 2 groups of 4, and so it was like my buddy and his wife went with my other buddy and his wife, and then the 2 people that I barely know, I was with their group.
Yeah.
So like we go into the sitting area, and the tickets are in the same row, but they're on different ends of the fucking row. So if I'm like in seat like 3, they're in like seat like 33. And like the 2 people I was supposed to be with like never fucking showed up. Like I sat by myself for the entire show, and I'm like, what the fuck? Come to find out after the show that their tickets got upgraded to the front row. Apparently, it was supposed to be the other couple, like my buddy and his wife, because he was the one that got the tickets and it was her birthday.
Yeah.
But they moved the wrong ones, so I ended up watching the entire Carrot Top show by my lonesome at the end of the row. It was a fine show. Like he tries. Like some of his stuff's funny, but you know.
He still does props?
Yeah. Like it was all right for like a free Vegas show. Like I give it up to Carrot Top. I have no ill will towards him.
Yeah.
And then at that point, like it was like probably around like 10 something, and my one buddy and his wife like they were tired, and they both have like their own like health quirks. So like I don't imagine that they're like state like night owls or anything. They have their things. They have to go rest up or whatever. And at that point, I'm like, I don't feel like standing around and watching other people gamble. So I'm like, I'm just going to walk back to my hotel. So I did that. And then Saturday came, and they all went out for breakfast. And I'm like, eh. So I just didn't bother to answer anything in the group chat. And then I showered and packed up and everything. And then I went and checked out and left my bag at the bag return. And I walked myself down to In-N-Out Burger, which was like 2 miles away. And I ate lunch and watched Hot Ones out there and by a palm tree. And then I walked over to the Cosmopolitan and was sitting in Starbucks drinking tea while texting with everybody. And they showed up and I walked around with them. And I don't know, like a couple hours went by and I got on a plane and came home.
That sounds like a very fulfilling trip.
Yeah.
So that was Daniel's trip to Vegas, and I'm telling you right now, that was episode 322 of Stage Crunchy Milk, because I can't even hold on no more, bro.
I'm gonna get to tell about this vacation
Gabriel slept through the entire episode.
again. This is the second episode I slept through.
I don't know that we can record this late because
Everybody's sleepy.
niggas be tired. And
I just haven't been getting sleep lately. It's a whole thing at home where the baby's just not sleeping, and then we're all exhausted. She might be awake right now for all I know.
Well, you'll find out soon enough.
We shall see. I got a real cute picture of Gabriel sleeping though, so that's for you. I was going to try to send it to his wife, and then I realized he said her phone's busted. Her phone's busted or your phone's busted?
Her phone's busted. It got dropped in the toilet.
All right.
The 3-year-old did that.
So I was
the one that calls me an asshole.
When her phone is replaced and or repaired, you let me know, and I will send her this picture of you. Actually, I was planning to send it to her
Instagram,
to her IG, and it'll just be sitting there waiting. So it's all to the good. We out here, people, man. We do this every week. It is sometimes a Herculean effort, sometimes it's a breeze, but it's always a pleasure. Because I like fucking sitting here with my mans, and I like talking shit to you, our listeners, and I hope you enjoy it. Again, this was episode 322 of this very show. We'll be back again next week. Oh, heads up, I tweaked our merch store. Our merch store is now via TeePublic as opposed to Redbubble. Turns out Redbubble owns TeePublic. I didn't know that at the time. But it's there now. You got all kinds of options with our logo on it if you are so inclined to go buy it. And, rock some Stays Crunchy Milk gear. If you or someone you know has a bit of an art hand and wants to help us make some different stuff for the merch store, you know what I'm saying, different logos and stuff like that there, holla at your boy. Maybe we can work something out. And because I'm not afraid to compensate. We can make shit pop and make shit happen. And that'd be pretty dope. But if you click the merch link in episodes going forward, it will take you to that TeePublic store and see what you can see what you can find, see if you see something you dig, you fuck with it, or not, and so forth and so on, man. It's great. We get a tiny little cut of it. I actually just bought some stuff off of there for the patrons, and what's funny is I get an email from them saying, "Hey, you made this much money off of this," and I was like,
refund.
I spent way more than that, but thanks for that $2.50 that'll go to the account next month. All to the good.
Gotta spend money to make money, they say.
Sure.
I had to chuckle at it. But like I said, that was a... you know what I'm saying? It was a full house. I promise you Gabe was here the entire time. He's just, resting his soul. So that's the real ODP.
I gave you my opinion on cookies.
There you go. That's Tatum 216.
Yep.
Lunchbox 2099 had to step away. I am the Entertainer 713. You have just been podcast 2, and I know you loved it.
Or at least liked it.
Peace.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.